Lakers really dropped the ball. I mean, this was a game that we desperately needed as we took on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and we lost. I mean, the only one that really showed up was Anthony Davis. He did what we were hoping he would do. Go out, have a monster game. Gave us 38 points, almost dropped a 40 piece. But outside of that, I mean, Malik Beasley was our second leading scorer with only 15 points. And it was one of those games where it's just like if one other guy stepped up, we would have won, right? Like if Reeves got like 12 instead of 5 or whatever he had, right? Like that would have been perfect. Like we probably would have won, right? It's just like if Dennis Schroeder gave us any kind of production. Now, to be fair, Dennis Schroeder did hurt himself, although Darvin Ham said that wasn't an issue, that wasn't bothering him, although it kind of looked like it was. I mean, everything was kind of short for him. But regardless, it's just this was a game that we had to win. You needed to win. All of the stars aligned yesterday. It was beautiful. It was like the gates just opened and you just see the light and you're just like, oh, I've made it. Here I am. And you start walking through and the gates just close on you because they realize you're an idiot. Like, it's just like, oh man, no way. Right? It hurt. Like this game hurt. This one probably hurt for me personally. This game hurt more than probably any other game we've played this year. Right? Because this was the game that felt like that's it. We got the new team. We've been riding hot. You know, we don't have LeBron. We don't have D'Lo. We're still winning games, right? It felt like we should have beat the Memphis Grizzlies, and it felt like if we had D'Angelo Russell, we would have beat the Memphis Grizzlies. It felt that way this game, too. Like, I really believe if we had D'Lo, we would have won this game, just because of all that he provides. But in general, regardless, you know, hey, we didn't have him. But it still felt like we could have won this game. If just one other guy showed up, it would have helped. I mean, it was all Anthony Davis. Like, we couldn't stop the Timberwolves. Every time we got it close, we just couldn't get the stops that we needed to get. Guys just couldn't buy a bucket. And what's crazy is we started so hot, right? Like, you knew we were going to cool down. But, I mean, like, we cooled down. Like, we went terrible. And it sucked because if we would have won, we would have been in the play-in and only like half a game out of the playoffs because literally everything that could have happened yesterday happened in the Lakers' favor. Everything. And it didn't work out for us. We couldn't do our job. Luckily for the Lakers, we didn't lose any ground, right? We're still in the exact same position because everyone else lost. Problem is just less games for us to catch up. So, for example, like the Lakers are still, now they're 15 games out, but they're still only 1 game out of 9th and 2 games out of 8th and 7th. Well, that half game is basically going to be the Timberwolves tiebreaker. So, chances are we're probably not playing for that 7th seed anymore unless the Timberwolves overtake the Mavericks. Then I think we have a shot there. We're trying to get that 8th seed. So we got to win at least 2 more games than the Clippers the rest of the way. And the good thing is the Clippers have played 2 more games than us. So that is really good too. But regardless, we have to win, basically, I guess 4 more games along the way than the Clippers. So the Clippers need to keep losing. They need to keep being terrible. That will help the Lakers tremendously. Utah is tanking. I still think the Lakers, at the bare minimum, make the play. I think at worst we're in the 10th spot. The Pelicans go up to the 9th. Jazz go, fall out entirely, and then we end up taking the Jazz spot. There is no reason for us not to take the Jazz spot. Jazz are taking, and we have a much easier schedule than the Jazz. So we should be able to go get those wins. But regardless, right, you need to get into that 7-8 spot. Because that 9-10 spot, it's just so hard. Because you have to win 2 straight games without a loss, which is not impossible. Lakers can go on a 2-game win streak. But it's one and done. So if anything happens, right? Like, let's say we play the Pelicans in the first round. If they just shoot the lights out, whether we have, we could be fully out, LeBron could be 110%, and just be ready to go. He could have bionic legs for all we know, right? Like it doesn't matter. If the Pelicans just shoot like the Blazers did that one day, then it doesn't matter. Like we're done. That's it. It's a wrap for us. Put a fork in it type thing, right? Or say we do. What happens if we do play the Clippers in the play? The Clippers have had our number. Yeah, they've been terrible, but Clippers have been having our number. Last thing you want to do is play the Clippers in a play-in. Like that would suck. Now we got to play them, and it's like they've reamed us the last few years. Not saying that we can't beat them, but again, it's only one game. If it was like a best of 7 series, Lakers could make the adjustments, LeBron James could figure it out. But no, it's one game. It's just these are the issues in which they lie. And so hopefully the Lakers can kind of climb back in it and get the job done. But it's going to start tomorrow with Steph Curry. Steph Curry is supposed to returning to the Golden State Warriors because that's what always happens. The superstars love to come back when we play them because that's just that's just the NBA, right? Lakers are in town. Don't worry. Doesn't matter if I have a broken leg. I'm coming back, right? Like that's just how it is. So Steph is going to be back. Hopefully, takes him a game or so to kind of get the rust off. Although he is just such a great shooter, I doubt it. I still think it's a winnable game. We're going to get D'Angelo Russell back, very likely. He's supposed to be doing a practice today, and if things go well in practice, he's going to play. I do believe that we could still beat the Warriors, even with Steph, as long as we have D'Lo. Right? Now, don't get me wrong, the Warriors have been very, very hot so far. Their last loss was to us. So they're gonna be in that position of like, hey, we need to get this back. So that is something that to keep in mind as well, because literally their last loss was to us. But I do think that this is a game that we can get done. D'Lo is going to help ridiculous, but the Warriors are going to be a tough team. Now, if we were in Golden State, I'd probably chalk it up to an L. But us being in LA, I do think we can get it done, and we need to get it done. And then we even got another lucky break today. Ja Morant is going to be suspended for at least 2 games because he is softer than tissue and softer than your pillow because he's over here fighting 12-year-olds because they beat him on one-on-one and he's crying. So this idiot, he's getting suspended for 2 games, which will help the Lakers very, very mucho because as much of a crybaby as he is, they seriously, like, they are good with Ja Morant, right? Ja Morant single-handedly basically beat us in that Memphis game. I mean, don't get me wrong, 26 turnovers, that did help too. But, I mean, we had that whole, like, he had that third quarter where we were killing him, except for he put up 28 in that quarter. So we got to figure that whole situation out. But, Mr. Pillow Soft is going to be out, so that will really help a lot. And in general, D'Lo, him coming back, I really think is going to balance this roster more. Because, like, the biggest problem that we have right now is, like, we don't have that control pace playmaker. Like, that's one thing that LeBron is good at, right? LeBron is good at controlling the pace and being that playmaker, setting guys up, getting guys going, right? We don't really have that. Schroeder is more of like downhill, get to the hoop, drive and kick, or lob it up to Davis, right? Or get a basket. He's not really like, hey, let's slow this down. Let me get over here. Let me come over here. Oh, no, he's rotating. Oh, screen. Let me go this way. Oh, let me kick it out to Shooter over here. Oh, let me go pop up, pull up this mid-range. Like, D'Lo being a 3-level scorer just takes so much pressure off of everybody else. I mean, if you looked at the Memphis game and you looked at the Minnesota game, we win those games with D'Angelo Russell. Even if he just gives us, like, even if he just scored like 8 points or 10 points, we win both of those games just because he would have made everything so much more fluid. So, like, there were even stretches, like in Minnesota game, like there was stretches like a 5-minute stretch or almost 6-minute stretch where like the Lakers just didn't score like at all. I don't think that happens with D'Angelo Russell because he can just go get a bucket for you, or he's very methodical to where he can just slow it down and go generate a foul to get to the free throw line to go knock down some free throws, or he's going to draw the defender and get an easy look so a guy can get an easier shot. So a guy would have probably knocked down a shot. Not saying that there wouldn't have been like a 2-minute stretch or something like that, right? Because I mean, all teams go through like, a couple minute stretches where they just didn't score. But I don't think it would have been, I think it would have been like half at least of what it was. And those kind of things could be the difference between winning and losing a game. So I really think D'Angelo Russell and his impact, just one as a scorer, he's a guy we know that can go get you 20 a night. Right? He's a guy that we know that can go get you not only 20 a night, but can get you 8 to 10 assists a night if you need him to. And that's what we're going to need from him. We're probably going to need about 15 and 8, 20 and 8 from him. I really do. I think that's what we're looking at. Give us, 28 and 5 or at least 15, 8 and 5, somewhere around there, or 7, give or take. But I think if he can, and I think he will, I think he's going to be the huge difference maker that we're going to see with this team. I really do. I think he helps us go on a nice little run here. We still have a 4-game homestand. If we win those games, I still believe we might even be in a playoff spot, like, or close to it, or like half a game out of it. Like the tiebreaker could be the difference, right? So it's not out of the realm of possibility. We win our next 4 games, we're at 500. I think we're there, but we got to get that done. We do. And it's not going to be easy. This 4-game stretch is tough because we got the Warriors. After the Warriors, we got Memphis. After Memphis, we got the Raptors, and then we got the Knicks. And the Knicks have been the hottest team in the league so far the last month. So it's not getting any easier. At least those stretch of games. It does get a little easier after that, but still, because we got teams like the Rockets, Pelicans. I think we could beat, especially with D'Lo. But still, it's one of those things where it's like, we got to start racking up some wins here. We need to go on a streak. We need to start. Okay, we lost 2 out of our last 3. We're 5 out of our last 8, but we lost 2 out of our last 3. We need to go on like a 3 or 4 game winning streak. For every loss we have, we need to win 2 or 3 games. It's the only way we're going to get to the playoffs at this point because we're climbing such an uphill battle. If it wasn't for the 2-10 start, we'd actually be in a really good spot. We'd actually be in the playoffs right now. They pulled up the stat during the game. The Lakers have the 5th best record in the West since January 1st. So basically, since the new year, the Lakers have been rolling, right? Like, they've been good. They just had such an uphill battle to climb all season. And they still have like the 8th best record in the league since the 2-10 start. So the Lakers have, even with the previous team, have been good. It's just, we're just so far behind. We're behind the 8 ball, and we got to get in front of it. So anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Think we win? Think we got a chance? Think we don't? How do you feel? Let me know down in the comments below.